In the article Technology versus COVID-19 Assessing the Threats by Farah Nayeri, we see appeals to our emotions and shared assumptions to show us that despite how the current pandemic is creating somewhat of a technological boom, it could also be considered detrimental to us. Her use of a quote from an Athens Democracy Forum shows us that people are starting to get the ability to actually hack people, not just their accounts or computers or smartphones, but their lives. With the mass moving to online of our lives, people's sole existences are moving to online, and losing information online is far more risky now as compared to in the past. This quote is used to appeal to our emotions, primarily of fear and anger, because as we move online, it's a very uncertain age. We have to put our trust into big companies that we don't really know if we can trust. And if there's like a security issue with that company, we don't know it, we could just lose our lives altogether. Also present at this forum was Microsoft's current president, Brad Smith. Nayeri is quoted in saying he provided a long list of threats, surveillance, and face technology and such, which can easily be out of control. I mean, companies have already used it to sell information. Like that's basically how you get targeted ads and such, is using your search history. So why wouldn't they use your own personal information, such as your face? This quote is once again an appeal to our emotions, such as fear and anger, about how easy it is for us in the modern era to lose ourselves or our identity from a small issue online. Another problem in the modern era of technology would be misinformation. Most of us know that in 2016, during the elections, for example, Facebook was full of misinformation, whether it was people who had their own political opinions or stated things that weren't exactly true but claimed they were true, and people listened. Um, Nayeri quotes a person saying that Facebook was a completely different company now, and that was the director of public policy at Facebook, Katie Harbath, that she quoted. Um, Facebook itself admitted to spreading misinformation on their platform in the past, and it kind of appeals to our shared assumptions that, like, back then, we didn't really think much of it, and then it kind of started to put all together that Facebook wasn't exactly spreading the truth all the time. Appeals to shared assumptions like this, like, for example, like big companies, we can trust them with our information, or we can trust Facebook with giving us the right information, is not just an appeal to shared assumptions, but also fear. Because if they can't do that, then what are we going to do? Like, that's our livelihood, that's our news source, that's how we make decisions. This article also brings to light the spreading of misinformation, how it could affect our lives in the past and in the future. The director of public policy at Facebook, Katie Harbath, admits that in the 2016 elections there was quite a bit of misinformation that they missed, and they didn't do quite a good job of controlling the spread of it. One of the only ways to monitor the spreading of misinformation is to use private fact checkers. But how do we know that they're not biased or have their own goals? This section of the article brings up two big questions. Could information ultimately change our futures for the worst? And if so, should we try to change that, or will those efforts ultimately make the problem worse? In the end, this article brings up a lot of questions and unexpected consequences that we may not have realized about the COVID-19 experience. We see economic and health problems that it brings up, and this article tries to appeal to our emotions to show us that technology and the internet will be affected and shape our future forever.